See, I don't have an introduction for this podcast. I'm very indecisive with that shit. But I do go by Tony Awdball. This is an odd conversation. Here with a very special guest.
Yeah, Gnarly, what's up?
Yeah, I'm Gnarly. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I've been wanting to interview you for years. Like, probably back in,
Really?
I want to say like 2016 or 2015. One of those 2 years. Because,
Oh, okay.
yeah, like, I remember seeing you open up for Reverie at one of her shows in, I think it was Los Globos and stuff.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that one. Shout out to, I was with Ends and then that night. I remember that.
Yeah, and Eric Young. I think it was also like, what was it? The 76. That dude from San Diego. I forgot his name. Oh, Steez.
Oh, I know who you're talking about, though. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I
So
was just out there with him. Yeah.
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That was actually a pretty dope set too. You know, you had the Juice track and stuff. So.
Yeah, I remember that.
But then afterwards, I remember seeing you on the Essentials podcast with Liz and all them.
With
Man.
Liz and I remember Letty was on it back in the day, and then Callie Alley and Skywalker Mike, and those are the homies.
Yeah, for sure, man. So I mean, that's why I before this interview came up, I did check out some of the recent ones, at least with like Rosecrans Vic and everything too. So I try not to like kind of re-ask questions that have been asked all the time. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah, I feel you on that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. So that's why I'm just gonna tell you to get the basic ones out the way, such as like where you're from and like what got you into making music.
Yeah, I can definitely talk about that. I'm from San Bernardino, California. I was raised in I was born in Los Angeles. I kind of moved back and forth between LA and IE, like a lot growing up. But yeah, I grew up in SB. I started making music. Really, I mean, my family had like musical origins and stuff like that. So I used to like sing in the choir and shit like that when I was really young. But I didn't get into rapping until like the end of high school. And then from there, I was just like fucking around with homies, making music, here and there with some friends. And I didn't really start getting serious as Camp Gnarly until about like 2012. And I started out, like you said, like opening up for the homies, in the early days and doing stuff for like Reverie and other tours and stuff like that. I did some tours with Vail and did a lot of music with the homie Noah James. So, dropping a couple slappers throughout the years and shit, bro.
Man.
That's what I be on. I just make music, bro. I've been making music for a long time. Like, it's just a part of my whole thing.
Yeah, hands down. Because I do know that you've had like collaborations with like Blue and like just like a lot of like dope up and coming like even like people that we kind of grew up off of. Because I remember listening to Blue back in high school. So
yeah.
And that was like kind of like when I first got introduced to like the whole like hip hop. Like I've always been into hip hop and everything, but like really like digging into it. And I used to see like my friends that were like big rap heads that would always like have like the I can't believe I forgot the album's name, but the most popular Blue album with Blue and Exile.
Oh, Blue and Exile, Below the Heavens.
Below the Heavens, that's right. And
yeah.
And like everyone used to have that cover art on like back in MySpace, back when I was popping and shit. So.
Oh yeah, Blue was super popular back then. Yeah, shout out to Blue too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
But yeah, I feel that. That's how I started out, like listening to a lot of Blue, and I remember opening up for like Dom Kennedy and Currency and like Pat Gibb and shit, like when I first started making music. So, having songs with those guys now, shit, is pretty tight to have a song with Blue after, growing up listening to him when shit was cracking on MySpace and when Below the Heavens was going. And, and those are the homies now too. It feels good to be able to like, talk to your peers in that kind of way and, still be inspired by them.
Yeah, hands down, bro. And so coming from the Inland Empire, because I grew up in Fontana for like most of my life. And so like I kind of know how it is, but then I moved out towards like La Mirada and Whittier, and then like now I'm in Marietta. Yeah. But honestly, as of lately, because this is middle of August or so, or late August, Hit Boy's been making a lot of noise for the Inland Empire, especially with the Nas collaboration album.
Yeah,
that was dope.
Yeah, it's really dope to see. It's really crazy to look at it like that, to see so many people aligning and creating classics with a really IE legend. And to see his growth is dope as fuck, and it's really empowering for the city and for for artists like myself who are pushing that IE.
Yeah, hands down,
pushing
man.
that inland shit.
And it's funny too because like since I started doing this interviewing thing, I started really like getting involved more with like I guess like our local sound. Even though like I've interviewed people from out of state, but like I get really excited about Inland Empire rap because like I find a lot of it like great work. You know what I'm saying? And you have a
Yeah,
solid
yeah.
catalog. I'm not gonna front. Like that's not me kissing ass whatsoever, bro. Like your shit's really good. You know.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot. I'm grateful that my music is able to connect with people and so vastly, especially coming from, i.e. San Bernardino. Like, like I said, like I do have history in Los Angeles, but, I really, really put on for my section, the IE family, San Bernardino. And, you got to go harder. You got to work harder, sometimes to really get into these spaces or just to get the music heard, you know what I'm saying? So it's dope that my music is connecting and people are listening. So I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hands down, bro. And then, like, one more thing about San Bernardino, bro. Like, I know it's pretty ghetto out there. It's pretty bad at times, And so I kind of want to know, like, how was it, like, encountering all the shit that comes up out of there?
I come from a really strong family background. So, I always had my head above a lot of that shit. So I was able to avoid a lot of stuff. But, being in the city and, watching your friends pass away early and, dealing with that shit when you're like 14, 15, your friends getting shot and stuff, like, that just was my reality of going to school out there and going to high school out there. But it's, I still created, like, really dope bonds that I still have to this day. And I know I wouldn't be the kind of person I am or make the music that I make if it wasn't for being from San Bernardino. And, I just really try to be intentional with it because I really do love where I'm from. It ain't the prettiest place, doesn't have the best history, but there's like really rich, talented people here. Like people who are really rich in their talent and creativity, and there's a wealth of artists out here that really should be getting recognized. And I feel like it's important for me, just because I do get a little bit of recognition in that way, to always shed light. Like, I'm coming from this place. Like the same as what Hit Boy does when he shouts out the IE or has Nas talking about IE or having a record with Dr. Dre. Like, we're it's important to build those bridges and let people know. Like, I really feel like IE is up next. Like, I mean, in that sense, like, it hits on an amazing run, and there's a lot of artists out here who are really making really dope shit.
Yeah,
in my opinion, off top.
No, for sure. And that, like that's like one thing that right when you said it, it really clicked in my head that really the Inland Empire is really gonna be making a lot more noise, because like. We're gonna get into the new album, which I want to know exactly how to pronounce it. I don't want to fuck it up. Like the.
Oh yeah, well you can say it multiple ways, at least three, obviously, but it's 333 hertz.
Okay, cool.
You can say it like that, or I call it 333 HZ, which is the same thing. Or you can just call it 333. Or that's pretty much it. Yeah, those two. That's what I would call it.
You try to fit a third one in there, bro.
Just call it 333.
that works too. But like over there though, man, you have some solid features on there too. I mean, you got Triz coming out on that, Ain't Got record. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I love that song. We snapped on that one. We got a visual for that coming out really soon. But all those features on there are all super organic too. Like, none of those are like mailed in or anything like that. Like, we're in the studio. We all worked on that shit organically. And, out here, what's dope about IE in that way is there's a lot of unity amongst the artists and shit. Like, a mutual, real mutual respect. Like, we all have our paths that we're laying, and we know that a brick for me is a brick for you upon the steps, So it's like, in that way, me and Triz have known each other for a minute, and we just knocked out that song. And the same for all the other features. Like, those are people that I've worked with or been close to, or really admire their art, their music and shit, that I want to, have a record with them. And all those songs came out hard, all of them. Shout out Richard Wright, shout out Eric Clinton James, shout out Waju, shout out my homie A Brook. We collaborate all the time. But yeah, like, I'm really proud of that project too. And it's dope that people are really connecting with it and attaching with it with everything that's going on. And I'm glad that there's songs on there that can speak to that shit too.
Yeah, hands down. Because I was going to bring up some of the Nirvana tracks, but honestly, like, this album right here, I'm pretty much stuck on it right now. So that's why a lot of my questions are going to be revolving around that, primarily. But, like...
No, that's cool. I'm still going to be dropping some work from Nirvana, too.
Okay.
I'll be dropping a visual from one of the songs on there as well. Because that project really did a lot for me, too.
Yeah, hands down, bro. And, like, I'm just going to say it like this. The whole album's a vibe. I mean, you can cruise with it. You can have a kickback with it. You can have a barbecue with it. Like, that's the reason why I like, solid projects, because, like, you don't have to press skip, you know what I mean? Like, to get to keep the energy up, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
exactly. No skips.
Yeah, exactly, man. And I'm not gonna lie, my my favorite song from the album actually is Mary Jane. You know, it had like a real Nate Dogg like feel to the hook. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, that's what the origins of that record is, and that's just me paying homage to the people I really like, and you know, that flow, that melodic pattern and shit like that. That you know, I grew up on listening, and like I said, I used to sing and stuff like that as well. So integrating my own personal talents and paying homage to like Nate Dogg at the same time, and I'll do that a couple times actually on the project because I do, you know, I took the Mary Jane on that record with Airplane James, but also on the song Too Much, the bridge at the end is a flip of like a rewording anyway of that song 21 Questions with Nate Dogg and 50 Cent. He's like, I just want to chill and flip a lot, like, so that all of that is like inspired by like, you know.
Oh snap! Did we lose you? We got some poor connection, but we'll be right back. We're gonna see how everything goes.
Push, give me clarity. I know this is where I wanna be. Rolling with my loved ones. Hey, smoking on some trees. You got a cabbage, won't you light it up? Damn, I wanna know when you gon' slide, yeah. I wanna know what you won't try, yeah. Wanna know what be on your mind. Let me know, we can take our time. Shit, I ain't know.
And I think he's back. Cool, he's back. All right, Sam. Yeah. So, you know, before we get, you know, digest this album, well, you know, like dissect it. My bad. Before we dissect the project, I do want to say there's this thing on the show that I do where it's like, you know, give you like hypothetical questions, a little odd in a sense. You know what I'm saying? And so, what's it called?
Okay.
Let's just say, you know, like, since quarantine's already been extended, you know, we might as well just give it for the rest of the year. So from now until, you know, the end of 2020, for some reason the internet fucks up, and you know, the streaming services only give you 3 options to listen to, whether it's any rapper, band, singer, whatever. But you get the whole discography with it. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, you said what happens, and I'll get the whole discography of what?
Yeah. So basically, like, whoever you decide to choose for the 3 options, you get the whole discography, production, whatever that comes with it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I like to get creative with these things. So who you rocking with for the rest of the year?
Who am I rocking with for the rest of the year, and I get the whole discography?
Yeah. So we only have 3 options.
I'm gonna selfishly say myself because I love to make music.
Ah, that's not fair, bro. Hey, you have your shit in the vault, bro. We don't need that.
Okay, for myself. All right. Man, who I really like right now? I listen to who I've been listening to. I'd probably take some Larry June. I take some Hit Boy, and damn, just from right. I'm only keeping this in the realm of like right now, like something I'm listening to right now. And I need some soul, and I need some good singing, and the artist is gonna keep. I probably listen to my own girl, Zaya Bell too.
Zaya Bell.
Got her on too.
All right, man. You have to plug me into her music after this, for sure. And
yeah, definitely.
But Larry June, man, honestly, he's been making a lot more noise lately. I've never seen him live. I think maybe in 2017, 2018, maybe. And like I thought it was cool.
I just really enjoy bro's vibe. I really like his. He got smooth shit. I really be listening to mostly oldies as well, though. So if I can get like full discographies of like oldies, not just something I'm listening to right now, then I would do like anything that Snoop has, anything that Nate Dogg has, and like probably like the whole Jay-Z discography, because everything reverts back to a J-verse.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
No, it's true, man. You know, I'm gonna ask you a quick question about that now, because I've been seeing it a lot around lately, where it's saying that for some reason every time Nas drops something, Jay-Z's dropping something too. You know what I'm saying? You ever notice that?
I saw something about that too. I think that's kind of funny. I saw Nas talk about it. He said it was like a coincidence or something.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I really enjoy both artists over a long period of time. Like, and it's different too, because I grew up listening to those artists, but then I have other artists that I aligned with at different stages in my life. So like I could pick a 3 from my early half of my life, a 3 from my middle section, and a 3 from my current. Like stuff I just like to ride around to, and I listen to so much music, man. Like it's kind of hard to even pick one, because it depends on what tier. You know, there's different tiers of artists that you listen to. The ones that are like more well known in mainstream, and the ones that are more obscure. And and I have a lot of homies that make music too.
Yeah, hands down, man. And so, so back to the 33 hertz, 333 hertz. Shit, man. There's so many different ways you can say that. Yeah, we're gonna start on the 333 album, man. But I did like the opening, but like at least like the ending of the intro, where you were kind of saying how what's mine is mine, and you can't take it from me. You know what I'm saying? I like how throughout this whole album, like that kind of like reverts back to that same phrase, because it was like a lot about determination, about taking what's yours. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I feel like that is the space that I was in, especially coming off of Nirvana. It had a lot to do for me with like making kind of music that really shows who I am, and as well, like the mindfulness in the project is about healing the shit. So with it being about healing and taking time to like grow, it put me in a space of wanting to like really actualize that, and that has a lot to do with just like self-belief and shit. Like the shit that I'm creating, the stuff that I'm making is like a testament of who I am, and I'd like to take that.
Yeah, hands down, man. And so I also have another question. So like I know people get a little too in depth with like numerology and such. I find it very interesting, but like I know that there's also angelic numbers out there. Like you have the 3 numbers in a row. You know what I'm saying? Like as for myself, I know it's 333. So that's why I don't know if you have any like thoughts on it or like any kind of belief in that type of numerology.
Oh yeah, I mean, sorry, I got a little loud over here. I feel like there is like a nature of like energy surrounding that. Like I've always grown up seeing like a bunch of threes calling me in that way. And if you know about like about frequencies of sound and stuff like that, 333 hertz is a healing frequency. So I'm aware of it in that sense. And then as well, like 333 is like a balancing number. It's about being balanced in your mental and your physical and your spirit. So I feel like that's something I was really aware of, and I feel like I speak on that a lot. Like in seeing numbers like that, and seeing patterns and stuff like that throughout their life, in like songs like Signs and stuff, and songs like Bigger Things. Like that's what all that's about.
Yeah. What's crazy, man, is that this interview right now is at 33 minutes and 30 seconds.
Hey.
Nah, I'm fucking with you, dude. That would've been tight though.
But what's funny is like I wouldn't be surprised though. Like that shit happens like all the time.
No,
so
yeah.
If you didn't say that, I wouldn't even be surprised.
Yeah, I know. I did the same shit with Hippie C. Hippie C had the 7 album, and I pulled the same shit with him. I was like, oh, this is at 7 minutes. What the fuck? He's like, really? I'm like, no, but that'd be tight. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so you got a rhythm going.
Mm-hmm. But I'm not gonna front though, man. Like I see a lot. I don't know if you even like collaborated with Hippie C, but I just know like there's a lot of different sounds. At least like in the Southern California region, that like I see just like different like county rappers is really like they could create something really amazing out of it. Have you ever thought about doing that with Hippie?
What's your question?
Would you ever consider like maybe like, or unless you have already, like create something with like Hippie C?
We've traveled before and stuff like that. We've done shows together. Okay. We haven't worked on any music, but I wouldn't be opposed to it. That's the homie. I really got a lot of homies out of the Santa Ana, Orange County area over there, and Hippie C and all the Williams and them over there. Like, I fuck with them.
Okay, for sure. Well, so when it comes to like newer West Coast sounds, I remember listening to Bigger Things, and I enjoyed it, and like me, like my mind works in so many different ways that like I like if I could picture somebody on like featured on one of your songs, like Boogie, for instance, for Bigger Things, I see that happening because it had like that more of like a choir type of tone to it as well.
Yeah, I could see that. Those are some of the artists that I do listen to. There's a lot of cool artists coming out of Long Beach right now, and I definitely like Boogie, and I definitely like Hey Dion and Epic Must Die and those guys over there it's dope to hear music that is all kind of like on the same wavelength, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Sonically, so yeah, I definitely mess with some artists like Boogie.
Alright, well, I'm gonna put you on the spot real quick and pretty much ask you, what would you feel is like either the most meaningful like bar that you said on this album, or like one of those like just pretty much like the lines that kind of like describes yourself more than just like saying like the whole thing. You know what I mean?
Man, I mean, there's so many. It's hard to say one line because every line is a real testament of who I am and shit like that. But I could say the most consistent shit that I really do is I really do wake up in the morning, check on myself and my mental, check my bank statement, and roll up a blunt and burn some sage and water my plants. That's probably the most like accurate shit I do every single day.
All right, for sure. I see you. Meanwhile, you pull out the fucking bong. Yeah, go ahead, man.
Mom just popped up at perfect timing.
That's all good. No worries. Do you? Yeah. So what's it called? So I guess like 2020. Like I do these questions toward the end, but like I just feel like it'd be better just to throw them in there. But like 2020, like where do you really see yourself? Oh, not 2020. 2025. Where do you see yourself at?
Oh man, 2025. Trying to definitely create more outlets for community and community mindfulness. Definitely in the IE area in San Bernardino. That's something I'm really becoming more intentional about. I definitely work in the community now, and there's a lot of artists that I work with in the community that we are trying to use our creative arts to create tangible change, or just things that spaces that we feel like we could do something. So I definitely feel like that, maybe starting like a nonprofit or something, surrounding the messaging of my music, especially with that being about positivity and about healing. Like those are things that I focus on within myself, and I do want to like get into more. And then even as well as that, like within those years, just like making more music, bigger songs, bigger sounds, and becoming more expansive in the sense of like people becoming more aware of what it is that I'm doing, and and where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I feel you. And like I guess I'm gonna ask like something on a touchier subject. With all the police brutality going on, like the most recent one that just went down. I kind of want to like get to know like where your stance is at with like everything going on.
No, I mean, I'm definitely, saying solidarity of those organizers that are trying to stop what's going on in the streets and in terms of police brutality and shit. Like, it's unacceptable. Something's been going on for way too long. I work with local organizers here in the IE with like Black Lives Matter IE, and creating more of a source line for information about what's going on. So it's really dope to be working with other artists that are working with like people in organizing spaces, so that we can raise awareness for that shit. Because it's really unacceptable, and it's something I've seen a lot, in San Bernardino and all over.
Yeah, hands down. Yeah, it's just kind of like, for me, it's like I don't know exactly where my what I guess like initiative I have to take. You know what I mean? For me to really like go out and like say something about it, I feel like whatever I have to say is like the next person's already said it. You know what I'm saying? And so like at least someone from my standpoint is like it's always been kind of confusing.
It's probably just best to share information, and if you don't know what to say, you should probably let the people who be knowing what to say, follow their direction, and so you can educate yourself. I feel like that's everybody's responsibility, like you gotta, especially in working in like hip hop music and stuff like that, like you have to, you gotta be aware of this kind of stuff, and you gotta be intentional with, talking about it, because if you're not, then, you could be lumped in with the people who, are part of the problem.
Yeah, no, hands down, man. And, I appreciate that right there, just because, like, I have seen people always ask, and then a lot of people would like had such a I guess like a harsh response, probably because like they're just so infuriated at the moment. So that's why I've always just been like trying to like figure out like like what is what in my position right now, especially with those interviews and stuff. And so that's why like I do want to speak more about it and get everybody's like perspective on it and see what people can take from it and people can disagree. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's a good starting point. Just the fact that you're, that you want to know and you want to learn, because that's really where it all starts, bro. You got to, like, before you can even put yourself in other people's shoes, you have to understand the history of things and stuff like that. So I would just encourage people to just educate themselves so that you can, be progressive towards what's really going on. Otherwise, just chill. If you don't know yet, don't say nothing.
All right, for sure, man. Damn. So, shit. Do you ever watch any battle rap at all?
I don't. I was just talking about that. I really don't watch battle rap like that. But I'm homies with Daylight, and I just watched that battle with him and Tay-Rock.
That was insane.
Yeah.
That was fucking.
Yeah, that battle was really dope.
That was wild.
I feel like I was just. Some of my homies was just saying like it happens. It being in a bubble and stuff like that, it made it easier to pay attention to what they were saying. And Daylight was dropping crazy bars at the same time. Like it was really intentional in the way he was dropping jokes about shit that was just going on. And the same with Tay-Rock though. Like he's just he had flips for days. But yeah, I fuck with battle rap.
Yeah, no, hands down, man. I'm not gonna lie, man. Yeah, Daylight is definitely like top 5 for me, dude. Just cause like you could like re-listen to the same like line. It's like Absol in a sense, you can listen to the same song, and then you could find like 3 or 4 different meanings just in the same bar or same like setup. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Like you ever take like influence like from like I guess like styles like that into like your craft, no?
I do. Well, I listen to battle rap because it's super creative and there's a lot of flips and double entendres, triple entendres in that way, and that's the way my brain works when I listen to it from like a literary standpoint, like in the way that you can write something or flip something and come up with 3 ways to say the same thing, or come up with one way to say 3 different things, and so I listened to battle rap for that. There was a time too where I had to battle somebody who was already like a well-known battle rapper, and to prepare for that, I just listened to like a bunch of Daylight and shit, just to find my pocket and like how I could like attack somebody in that way. And Daylight's one of those perfect people. Like you can hear him and the way that it's real for me. It's like about the pattern, like the ways that he's delivering the pattern. Like that. Once you pick up his rhythm, like it's crazy. His voice is a part of it.
Yeah, for sure, man. Daylight, he's also like surrounded by a lot of good names, like even like Yoshi Vintage at the time, Denzel Curry.
Mm-hmm.
Like he stays in touch with like the scene, and that's one thing I've always appreciated with Daylight and like his like interactions with the music scene and such. You know what I mean? So I don't know, like, but you did on the the Nirvana album, you did have some production with the Pack Music, no?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, they did the intro on Nirvana. Yeah, those were the homies over there. Yoshi especially. That's how I linked up with Daylight with Pack Music Group and Python P and North Star the God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have a couple more joints coming out soon, like later on next year.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. Well, so you have an upcoming project coming up?
I can't give away any of that information like that, but what I can say is I do got like more visuals and stuff coming out. I did just release the Too Much video, and that's people running that up. So I'm about to follow up with some more visuals from Nirvana and some more visuals from 223, and then I'll probably be releasing like a couple loose singles. Mm-hmm. But no, I can't say nothing about a project right now. But I am working. I made a lot of music, but just. So we still calculating and cooking, but I got some songs I'm gonna be putting out with you soon.
All right, man, hands down, shit. And I don't know, like you're not part of like any collective or anything, are you?
Not a part of no, not really, no.
Okay.
I work with Rad Habits Holiday, with that brand, and I've like helping throw events and things like that since like 2014. And outside of that, now I'm not really. I work with Richie Your Face, like I'm really close to that group. Mm-hmm. I've done like a multitude of shows and tours with them over the years, but I'm not super affiliated. I'm like a free agent, bro. I'm out here at loose cannon. I do also work with what's it called? Awdball Records and the Water Label. They're the ones I released my 2019 Nirvana album with.
Yeah, okay, for sure. Yeah, wow. I don't know. Like me, like I think you have to like listen to this album. I know you released it this year. I don't remember exactly what time, but like I do know that like like I'm actually one of those like supporters right now that is like eager for the next one already. I'm not gonna be like blowing the shit up like, yo, when's the next album? You know?
No, I got you. I promise. I'll be dropping some music soon. I don't know when I'm gonna give you guys another album, but I will be dropping another one. Like really soon, I'll be giving y'all some music and some of the visuals that I'm releasing are songs that are not out yet. So you'll get some new verses and new collaborations. People I've worked with. Like I got a homie who is works out in Korea. His name is Red Sizzy. Him and I have a visual of a song that's not out yet. So that'll be coming out. And then a visual from my project Gnarly with my homie Ramaya. We have a song called Goodbye that's like a tribute to Kobe and Nipsey and just like everything that has occurred and the people we've lost since the creation of that song.
Yeah. Now, hands down, I'm looking forward to that, man. Yeah, I'm a big Nipsey fan. I'm a huge Nipsey fan.
Yeah.
Do you remember where you were at when you got the news?
Yeah, I did. I was actually at work. I was at work, and at the time I was working at this, I was doing something at like a call center, and I remember I was looking, like I got the news on my phone, and I was like looking around the whole office, and like people were shook, you know, like people were really upset, people were visually like affected, and then I remember I went to the funeral not too long after that, and that was like an experience that I would never forget. Like, Nipsey was an adored artist and really changed a lot of stuff for me personally. Like, you know, it really put, similar to like losing Kobe and stuff like that, like it really puts a lot of stuff in perspective for you. And at the same time, it's like really, you know, it's in my form of fashion and like change stuff that's like traumatic and, you know, and pain into like positive things and to learn from those things. So I really took a lot of lessons from when Nipsey passed and seeing how it affected me and everyone around me. And the same thing with Kobe too. Like, you know, that's a big part of like my childhood, and that shit affected me in a way too that really changed how I maneuver, you know, in whatever you do.
Yeah, no, hands down. I'm not gonna lie. I think like those two passings specifically were like those two and you know, Mac Miller for myself personally, but like those two right there was like specifically like
Mac Miller too.
Yeah, it was like the whole world was like, what the fuck, you know? It's because usually when celebrities die, like you don't really like, you just kind of think like, oh, you know, like that sucks, you know, like hope the best for the family and all that. But with those ones specifically, it was like, damn, like Kobe is like, we seen him grow up basically, you know what I'm saying? You know, and so that one was like kind of like that was like a big shock. That was like losing a cousin or something, you know?
Yeah, I feel like it's similar in all those, especially with like Mac Miller too, because they're like, those are people and artists that are like we're so consistent and so like a part of the, you know, what it was to be an artist. Like, you know, to see Mac Miller come up, to see Nipsey come up, and the same thing with Kobe too. Like, you know, that shit affected everybody. It still affects me. It makes me think about, you know, how far you can take things and the kind of purpose and impact you can put into your music, because, you know, when it's all said and done, like that's, especially for us artists, like that's all it is after it's over with.
Yeah, man. Shit. So, damn. You know what? Ironically, we're actually at 33 minutes right now. Yeah.
Are you playing that game?
No, hey, you can actually look it up on your log this time. Yeah, 33 minutes.
There it is.
Yeah, man. Well, damn. Honestly, I think this might be the best time to actually close it then, huh?
Say one more time?
This might be the best time to give the outro.
Yo, we can give an outro, man. What's the outro like? What it gotta be?
Well, just like an intro, I don't have an outro either. But I go by Tony Awdball. This is an odd conversation with a very special guest.
What's up? My name is Gnarly. This was a very odd conversation.
Yes, exactly. You know what? Hey, I think this is a good cliffhanger too, because I have a lot more questions, but we could probably get that in person soon.
Yeah, holler at me, bro. We can definitely chop it up.
For sure, bro. Well, you know, thanks so much for this time, man. I was eager for this one.
No, I appreciate you, man. Thank y'all for fucking with my music.
Don't even worry about it, bro. Peace and love.
Peace.
I know this is where I wanna be.